Hello there, and welcome to my update for 5 tries to figure it out. It's been quite a while since I updated this. I want to say it was like 2.5 months ago that I chose the 5 products I'm going to talk about in the first part of this video to really give a good solid 5 tries to. And somehow, I still haven't managed to get to 5 uses on the first one. This is the only one that I don't have up to 5 uses, thank goodness, but this is The Ordinary. This is their AHA 30% plus BHA 2% peeling solution. It's a 10-minute mask. I love how my skin feels when I use this. This hurts. That was dramatic, but you can definitely feel that this is doing something, and I find it quite uncomfortable, but not painful. But you use this for 10 minutes, you wash it off. I always do mine in the evening. I don't think it specifically tells you that you need to do it in the evening. I just always do because that's when I have time. And the next 3 days, my skin feels so incredibly nice. I used this last night. My skin feels plump, it feels hydrated, it feels fresh. I don't think that I can attribute all of that to this mask, but it definitely helps. I really, really like this, but I don't use it all that often. It's a mask. It's really hard for me to commit to 10 minutes of using a mask. Usually by the time I do my skincare, it's like I am ready to collapse. So putting on a mask, being uncomfortable for 10 minutes and then washing it off doesn't seem very appealing at that point in the evening. But I want to make a point of using that a little bit more. One thing that I am wearing today is from Kiko. This is their Unexpected Paradise Waterproof Lip Liner. I believe this is in the shade Ring Fire, though. I don't know. They don't have it on the packaging, and I don't care enough to go look at the website. But it is an orange, like a corally orange, but orange lip liner. One notable thing about these Kiko liners is they're very, very soft. I have only used this 6 times, and I have made a significant dent in it because it just breaks off. This is never something that I would want to travel with. It's not something that I really probably should have rolled up all the way over my carpet, but I do really like the color, and I've been finding that it is a lot more wearable than I think I originally thought. I mean, I wouldn't want to wear it with every look that I wear, but with what I have on today, I think it goes really well. I applied it today over lip balm, and I think that it looks better in the monitor, so probably on camera, than it does in person. I've been wearing this for a few hours, and my lips are not in great shape, so it's looking a little rough in person, but it's still pretty. I think that the effect for that first hour or two was exceptionally pretty. I've also worn this once or twice with the next product we have to talk about, which is this Wet n Wild Cloud Pout liquid lipstick. This is a marshmallow mousse in the shade Cloud Chaser. It is a light peachy shade. It does smell really good. It just smells so sweet and tasty. Here it is. It is a really light peach shade with some pink to it. I feel like I need to be a little bit careful with this. It is definitely a product that I feel like I need to really make sure is perfectly smooth on my lips. Make sure that it's not gathering at the edges. It tends to do that. But this is a nice way to tone down any warmer lipstick. I have a little bit of a more brownish nude lipstick from Dior that I've worn this with a few times. I've worn it with this orange, like I mentioned, a couple of times to get a color that's a little bit more in between. One way that I really adored this combination was I put this just in the very center of my lips, and then I blended it out using the Cloud Pout. So I got this little bit of an ombre lip, but a very soft ombre, and I found that the edges also ended up pretty soft because this is almost a powdery lipstick once it dries down. It was a really pretty effect. I think that I will have to remember that and maybe do it in a video one of these days because it turned out really well. Moving to face, I had two products. The first was from e.l.f. This is a blush quad, and I've actually gotten quite a bit of use out of the quad in general, but there was one shade, this one, that I just had a little bit of a harder time using. Let me give you a swatch of that. These are nicely pigmented. I think that even if you were of a medium skin tone, you could probably get away with this palette, with the exception of maybe this pink. This is the lighter of the two blush quads that e.l.f. has, or the two powder blush quads. When I first tried this, I had a really hard time with it. I thought that it looked just really obvious, super makeup-y, and that it really made a pretty harsh line from where the blush ended and my skin began. But I found that if I use a really light hand with this, if I focus it more up at my temples and on the apple of my cheeks, or if I just mix it in with other colors, this is actually pretty wearable. I know that I've worn this since I hit my 5 uses, because I hit my 5 uses on this like a month ago. And I've worn it probably more than once or twice since then. I might be up to almost 10 uses on this. It's really pretty. And that is the best case scenario for this project, is that not only do I hit my 5 uses and kind of have a grudging respect with the products, but I find myself actually using them in the future. Okay. Oh, no, that's not the last one. I still need to talk about my Colourpop Pastels. This turned out to be a totally unnecessary thing to put in this project because I think that I had only ever tried these once when I put them in the project, and it was over no base whatsoever. It was without eyeshadow primer. I'm fair enough that these show up with no problem whatsoever. I really like them. I think they are very, very pretty. I can see, though, why if you were even of a medium skin tone, you might have a very hard time with these. They are quite light, and they are not super pigmented. For me, these work really, really well. Isn't this palette beautiful? I love this. I'm gonna get distracted by the shinies, so let's move to the things that I want to try out over the next month or two and get to that 5 uses. First, this isn't going to be in this project anymore, but I am going to update you on in the next video if I've been somewhat consistently using this, because it's good stuff. I don't know why I don't use it. The 5 products that we're actually going to focus on, though, the first is this sample that I have for MAC. This is their Studio Fix powder. It is a powder foundation, and I have mine in the shade NC20. Now, I do not think I am NC20 in MAC. I think I am significantly lighter than that. But here is the powder. It also comes with its own little sponge, or puff, which I think is kind of cute. But this is, I think, a little bit dark for me, but I want to make it work somehow. The powder itself feels so nice. Maybe I could make that work. somehow. I don't know. I want to use this, and you know what? If I get to 3, 4, 5 uses and I realize that I just can't make this work, this doesn't really do anything for me, then I can toss it and it'll be fine. But I don't know, this is just such a nice powder that I would feel bad if I needed to get rid of it without ever having really used it. You know what this would probably be really good for? I feel like I could use this as a transition shade with my eyeshadow because it is just a hair too deep for foundation on me. I bet this would do pretty well in blending out something a little bit bolder. Cool. I'll need to try that. Next up, this is a very recent acquisition. I actually just got this week. This is from Revolution Beauty, and it is their white highlighter. First of all, I thought that this was going to be in very different packaging. I thought this was going to be a little bit more compact, sort of like maybe a Physicians Formula butter bronzer. I had not seen these in person, and just based on this embossing, I thought it would be more like a butter bronzer. Not that that matters, but this is a very glittery white highlighter, and I feel like this could be stunning. I mean, that is a swatch. I really ran my finger over that, but I just wanted to illustrate that this is very white and this is very glittery. It's pretty powdery also, but I feel like this could be stunning. I just need to figure out how to make that happen. Next up, we have my Revlon Colorstay Satin ink. This is a satin finish liquid lipstick, and it is sticky. It's a pretty color. Let me swatch it. Swatched over my knuckles, so, you know, probably not going to be the most attractive swatch. I do think that it doesn't really dry down, but I feel like it goes on just a little bit lighter on the lips than it is looking, at least in the viewfinder. Hello again, it's the next day. I didn't really intend to film this in 2 pieces, but apparently the last 4 minutes of footage got really corrupted. So I believe that I left off 24 hours ago when I was talking about this Revlon Colorstay Satin ink. The problem that I have with this is that though it is very pretty, it's super sticky. Even when you just have a neutral expression, not even when you're pressing your lips together, they stick. And that's very strange, but the lasting power on this is insane, probably because it is so sticky. I can get, 13, 14 hours of wear out of this. However, if 13, 14 hours I'm constantly getting my lips stuck together, that long wear time doesn't really do me any good. So I want, with this lip product, to play around with different balms and glosses. I feel like that might help alleviate some of that stickiness while hopefully maintaining at least some of that longevity, because I feel like this could potentially work out really well, or it could just be garbage. I feel like there's really no in between with this product. We're going to talk about the last 2 products just as one unit because I think I will end up using them together most of the time. These are both nice eyeshadows. I just don't use them, and I'm not quite sure why. This is an old Wet n Wild eyeshadow that I've repressed into this round pan. I believe that this is one of the shades in their dupe of the Lila palette. They had a 10-pan palette that pretty clearly duped the Lila palette, and I think this is one of the deeper purples in it. I got this from my Wet n Wild 32-pan palette, and it is pretty. It's a very dark, shimmery purple with quite a bit of gray in it, and I just don't use it. I never use it. And in a pretty similar vein, this one is actually from Colourpop. This is the shade Try Me. I'm pretty sure that the reason I haven't been using this is that I have a pretty similar shade, just a little bit deeper and a little bit more blue-based, whereas this is a little bit more reddish. I have a shade like that in my project pan for the year. So both of these I just want to get some use out of. I want to get them to 5 uses each. I know the quality is good. I know I can make them work. I just want to make these a part of my routine, one of the shades that I actually think to use when I sit down, because right now they are very much not that. And I think that about wraps things up. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to join in on this project, you are very, very welcome to. Please, if you do, let me know so that I can watch your videos or check out your Instagram posts or however else you would like to update that, because I would love to see how it's going. So, thanks again for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed, and I really hope that I will see you all in my next video. Bye!